Listen, don't even get me started. I'm about to graduate, hopefully in a couple of weeks' time. And if there's one thing that these past 4 years have taught me, it's that uni is rough. No one in my family had been to uni in the UK before. My mum had gone to uni, but that was back in Poland. So I had no idea like how it worked over here. I was going into it like relatively blind as the oldest sibling. I've made so many mistakes over these past few years. And don't get me wrong, some of these mistakes I'm grateful for because they made me who I am today, but some of these mistakes just caused me grief. Could have been completely avoided and it would have saved me a whole lot of stress. Uni is crazy. It truly feels like a battlefield sometimes, like full-on survival of the fittest. Only the most like insane and resilient people actually manage to get through. There are so many things that I wish I'd known back before I started uni because they like changed my life and changed just the whole way that I viewed uni in general. So now I'm here to be your big sister, your best friend, whoever you want me to be, and tell you these 10 things that I wish I'd known before starting uni in the hopes that they can change your life too. But first, if you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 80s or any age and feel like a bit of a chaotic mess that has no idea what they're doing or how to tackle life in general, make sure to give me a cheeky like and a subscribe and follow along as I try to figure out adult life post-graduation and try to just romanticize the everyday, I guess. If you're about to start uni, you're already at uni perhaps, or you're about to graduate like me, comment down below what you're studying. I'd really love to know what you're studying and perhaps the most interesting thing you've learned recently. Teach me something. But without further ado, got my coffee here. Let's get comfy and hopefully I can save your life a little bit in the next however many years you'll be going to uni for.
Number one, you
are gonna fail. Yeah. Sorry to be the one to break it to you, but you are gonna fail something, or maybe even many things. Uni is like such a change compared to any other schooling you've done before. And like when I say that you are low-key just tossed into the deep end at first, I mean it. I've always been someone who some people might call a tryhard, but I just personally really love education. I really love striving for the like best possible grades. And so when I failed one of my first year final exams, it actually like pained me. Like I sobbed about it for days. I was devastated about it. It literally crushed me having to resit it in September. But ultimately you need to learn very, very quickly at uni that failure is not the end of the world, that it's instead a learning opportunity. The best way to move on from failure is to find out what went wrong. Go get the help that you need to solve that problem, because that's the other thing about uni. They throw you in the deep end and you don't realise that you need to seek out the help yourself. You're an adult now. They're not going to baby you and give you everything you need on a silver platter. You need to seek out that help. You need to be able to deal with failure, bounce back from it, and then figure out your steps for the future. If you let failure ruin a good part of your life or control you or even set you back, you are not going to survive at uni, because like I said, it's such a new type of learning that you would not have experienced probably before. Ultimately, resilience is so much more useful than perfection. So the sooner you learn how to fail, the better. Number 2, and this is a big one, be careful who you sign a second year housing contract with. Don't get me wrong, all of my houses have been brilliant. I've been really lucky with my housemates. I've loved my flatmates, but I've heard some horror stories as well. In first year especially, the housing panic kicks in around November or December and everyone's suddenly rushing to lock into a contract. There's this like insane pressure to get it sorted as early as possible, but like realistically you've only known these people for like what, 8 weeks? 9 weeks? You don't know them that well. Obviously it's difficult to avoid this because you do need a house obviously for second year, but just be careful. Just because you get on fine now doesn't mean you will do, like living in close quarters with this person. People change a lot during first term. I think in first term of uni, people are still finding out who they are and who they want to be like going forward. And so there's a lot of changes in first term. And obviously this is not a bad thing to change. It's a very good thing to change if you want to, but just be conscious of not rushing into that contract straight away. And absolutely do not live with a relationship. This has never gone well from what I've seen, like with people. Like literally every person I've heard that has moved in with a relationship has regretted it. Literally never ever goes well, I swear. Just don't do it. Give it enough time. when you're planning out your second year house. Living with people can literally make or break friendships. Now, like I said, I got very lucky. I love all my flatmates, but I've heard a lot of people that were not so lucky. Just make sure to take your time and don't let pressure rush you into like signing a contract. So the third thing is that it's sort of building on from this whole idea about people changing in first term, but you will lose and gain friendships like crazy. In university, but I think also just in general in adult life, your friendship circles change a lot. When you first start uni, you're thrown into this intense environment where everyone's sort of performing and everyone's in the same boat and very nervous and very desperate to just cling to whoever they meet first on that first day when moving in. And some of those first friendships will absolutely stick and some of them won't, and that's okay. You will constantly be meeting new people from your course, from societies, from any sports you get involved with, from part-time jobs or just other random interactions on campus. The people that you're closest with in first year might not be your people in final year, and that's okay. People have their own lives going on, people have their own things going on. Just be aware that relationships are flexible that way. Sometimes you might reconnect with someone who you were close to in the past, lost that closeness with, and then reconnected with afterwards. You have to just let friendships and relationships evolve. That is just life. Don't hold grudges. Most of the time, it's not a place of malice. Most of the time people just have their own shit going on and their own stuff they have to deal with. That's just adult life. So number 4 is say yes to more stuff. Honestly, trust me, say yes to as much stuff as you can, especially weird things. University, I feel, is your best chance to try some of the weirdest and craziest hobbies out there. Everyone at uni is in the same boat. If you're awkward and lonely, and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is actually quite a great way to get over this, because you realize if you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, everyone else in the room is also doing the same, and that just makes it feel suddenly so much more reassuring than you realize. Trying things you would have never thought to try can actually lead to some of the best times of your life. I remember in my first year I attended like a trial training session for water polo. I've never even heard of water polo before coming to uni, and even though I'm like a fairly strong swimmer, don't get me wrong, I'm no Olympian. Some of the swimmers we have on the team here are just insane, but I would still consider myself a fairly strong swimmer compared to the average person. But I nearly drowned like 7 times in that water polo session, but it was just such fun. Like, I wouldn't change that for the world, because I then was able to meet a lot of people that did water polo, and I became very close with a lot of the people that did that sport. Made a lot of really great friends. I really see myself keeping in contact with a lot of these people for like the rest of my life. I might not have had that if I hadn't tried out that water polo session. Okay, number 5, so we're about halfway through, and this one's a big one. You will feel lonely sometimes. That's just inevitable. I don't think enough people warn you about this. Like, uni has this expectation that it's going to be the best years of your life. You're going to have the most fun you've ever had, and don't get me wrong, you will. I love uni. It's the best thing I've ever done. I absolutely agree with that, but there are times that you are just going to feel lonely. No matter what you do to try and avoid it, no matter who you surround yourself with, how many people you surround yourself with, there are just times where you will feel lonely. There's nothing wrong with feeling this way, like, at all. The beginning of adulthood is a time of constant changing and adapting and having new experiences for the first time, and it's only natural that there are times that are going to feel lonely within that. That's just normal. All you can ultimately do is to make sure you're not isolating yourself when you get to a point. So keep showing up to things, keep reaching out to people, and ultimately that lonely feeling will pass. It will get easier to deal with if you just give it time. Number 6, start your dissertation early, please. For me, if there's one thing you take from this video, please start your dissertation way earlier than you think you need to. Don't need to worry about it in first year, whatever, but towards the end of second year, you should start having a think about what you want to do, potentially. You don't have to start doing any actual work towards it in second year, obviously, but just start thinking about what topics you enjoy within your degree, what might be something you'd be happy to look into for a year's time, and then in third year, start writing sooner than you think. Even if it's awful, even if it's just a literature review, like in preparation for when you actually do your own research, no matter how bad it is, that first draft just makes everything else so much easier. So if you write write that early on, you are going to be in a way better position than if you leave it all to the last minute. The whole process just goes so much easier once you get those first words on the page. So just start sooner. Trust me, do it for yourself to save yourself a bunch of tears and all-nighters. Okay, number 7 is don't ditch your hobbies. It's easy to end up like really overwhelmed and involved in your academics. Obviously at uni your academics are very important, but don't completely ditch your hobbies. You need time to switch off from the education. You need time to let your brain relax and think about something else. And uni is the best time to either try a new hobby or return to an old one, or even just develop one that you're already doing. So many different skilled people come to university, and so if you attend an area related to your hobby, you'll be able to learn and improve so well. Joining like the swim society at my university was one of the best things I've done, not only because of all the friends that I made, of course, and the social aspect that's priceless, but I've also just fallen back in love with swimming, and I feel like I've improved so much since before university. My technique has improved, my speed has improved, my stamina has improved. I feel like uni is one of the only places where you can get that kind of coaching and tips and improvement without having to pay extortionate prices for like training sessions, you know. Really don't let go of your hobbies. Allow yourself that time off, because that will only make you more productive once you switch back on to studying as well. On top of this, there's societies for literally everything. Like some of the societies here at Warwick are for some of the most niche, obscure, random things, and that yet they have numbers, they have people attending. Uni is the best time to try something new. Literally no one cares if you're good or bad. They just want to also get to know more people and also improve on themselves as well. So you are basically guaranteed to find something that interests you. So just show up and meet new people and switch your brain off for a while. Number 8, and this one's perhaps a bit more of a sensitive one, but ask for help sooner. If you're struggling, don't wait for crisis before you reach out. Whether it's regarding academics, whether it's mental health, physical health, finances, literally anything, there will be support out there for you. You just have to reach out for it, because no one knows when you're struggling but yourself. So no one knows to give you help unless you ask for it. Whatever it is you need, don't wait until you've spiraled into this pit that's impossible to climb out of before you ask for help. It's not weak or pathetic to ask for the support that you need, and the uni will have it. If not directly through the uni, they'll be able to connect you with other services in your area. Just make sure to do it sooner rather than when it's too late. So we're nearing the end. Number 9 is get involved in something bigger than yourself. I really regret actually leaving this until my final year. I wish I'd done this sooner, which is why I wish I could speak to my pre-uni self and tell her about this. In my final year, I joined the student staff liaison committee for my course, and it felt really good to be able to give back to the same department that has supported me for these 4 years. So whether you become an exec member in a society, whether you volunteer, whether you join a committee like I did, being part of some kind of student group like this is a great way to be part of something that feels meaningful and feels impactful and makes you feel like you're contributing to your community. This not only feels good for yourself, it feels good to be part of something bigger than yourself, but it's also good for your career. It does really look good on your CV. But the main point, not only are you able to help your communities, it also makes you feel good as well to be able to provide that support. Finally, number 10, finally reached number 10. I feel like I've been talking forever and it's really hot in this room, so if I look really sweaty and red, I apologise. Number 10 is to use your summers wisely. After first year, take a break, short, chill. First year's tough, you're only just getting into the step of things, so go home, go abroad if you want, relax, switch your brain off, fine. But after second year, it's summer internship time. I'm afraid it is summer internship time. You've got to go corporate. I really regret not sorting this out in my second year and leaving it super late until like this year, because I could have had so much more opportunities for experience during my uni career that I've missed out on. And this not only obviously hinders my job application experience, but also just I feel like I could have learned more and I could have tried out different industries so that I'd have a better idea of what I wanted to go into now that I'm graduating. So really take advantage of any internship or work experience opportunities you have in the summer between second and third year, because you can build up so much experience and so much knowledge, and also I feel like it helps you feel surer in yourself, so there's benefits all around. And on top of that, you'd have more money to work with during the next academic year, which, as I'm sure you're aware, finances can be tight, so it would have been nice to have more serious employment during the summers rather than just continuing at my part-time job. Internship applications in general are rough and you face so much rejection. I understand it's really difficult to go through that, but getting on top of it sooner rather than later is ultimately only going to benefit you. So there's that. Things I learned, mistakes I made, regrets, memories, stupid decisions, everything. I want you to make out. I don't want you to make out. Do what you want in that regard. I want you to go out and make stupid decisions as well. Your late teens, early 20s are the best time to make stupid decisions because stuff doesn't matter as much at the moment when you don't have a mortgage and kids and a partner and God knows what else, or when most people don't. I guess you could be going to uni with all those things as well, in which case, God, you're tougher than me. How do you do it? I could barely look after myself. But anyway, do try and take some of these tips to heart because it could really make your uni experience that much easier, that much smoother, and save you a lot of grief. Thank you for tuning in to this video. If you've watched this far, make sure to let me know which of these tips was your favourite, or if you're also graduating soon, which of these tips would you most agree with. Give that like button a cheeky little tickle, and I'll see you next week. Alright, I'm off. See ya.